right, so with the door open, we're going to start taking off the panel. I like to use a plastic trim tool so I don't mar anything up. I'm going to come over here. I'm just going to come right straight in just like this. And then this should want to pop up. Just going to get right in there. There's a little tab. You just kind of push up against it. There's our mounting bolt there. So let's start taking these out. Use your 10 millimeter. Take this out of here. There's another 10 millimeter inside this hole. Remove the screw on the side. And 2 along the bottom. There we go. Let's give this a little shake. Okay. All right, so we'll use our trim tool. See if you can squeeze it in there. Usually there's some little tabs. I'll show you what they look like. Yeah. Okay. Lift this up. Now we can see behind there. There's some more wiring we need to take off. All right, squeeze this, pull it off of there. Remove this. Okay, so at this point, you want to take a small pocket screwdriver or whatever you've got, remove this rubber right here. There's another one located up here. And now inside here is where you're going to want to pay attention to, because this is where we're going to be taking the, separating the window from the regulator. So what we need to do now, reconnect our window switch. Okay. Put the key in the on position so we can make the windows function up and down. And now looking in here, we're going to pay attention for the little Torx headed bolt. Oh, there's one right in there, and there's one lined up right here. Perfect. Turn off the key. Okay. So next I'm going to use a T27 or a Torx bit number 27. I'm going to remove these bolts. This one. Okay. See if I can lift up on the window. Okay, comes right up, separated from the regulator. Awesome. So let's tape up the window. I like to use painter's tape because it doesn't leave any glue residue behind. At least 3 or 4 strips. Let's re-disconnect this. So using a 10 millimeter, we're going to start removing the mounting bolts for this plate. Let's try giving this a little wiggle. See if it wants to separate. Move this around a little bit here. Definitely caught over here. So next what we need to do is get all this wiring unmounted from this plate. So you can use something as simple as a fork tool. Looks like this. Little red tab needs to be pulled down, then you push on that. There we go. Beautiful. So we're going to remove these 3 bolts with a T27. Okay, so if you look right here on the outside, you'll see these couple little nubs that come out. On the inside, or behind this panel, there's a couple 8mm bolts that are lined up directly with those. So we're just going to remove those. Okay, there's one screw. We'll set that aside. We'll do the other one. Okay, slide that off of there a little bit. Okay. So now we've got a lot more room to be able to do what we need to do. Okay, so taking our pocket screwdriver, we're just going to try to get this piece off of here. It just slides over, so easy peasy. So let's remove these bolts. Just going to use a T20. One here. Solid plate. We're going to use some needle nose pliers, and you can turn this so you can see the 2 little ears. Just grab those ears, pinch them together, and give this a tug. Should want to pull far enough. There we go. Okay. Okay, so carefully, because there's a spring right here, just grab this, and it should want to pop up and out of here. It's just a little piton down there. There we go. And there's our little spring. Cool. Slide this off of there. Okay, so if you follow this cable down along here, oh, I just pulled it off real easy, but anyway, this piece comes off, and then you can see into where the latch is. You just grab your cable, it's got a little hooky-doo, it goes into there. Awesome. Let's try pulling the lock button down through here, just like this. Should be able to hang this down a little lower at this point. So now we're just going to separate these 2 pieces. You pull on this tab right there, and then that should move around. Okay, that's great. If you look back here a little further in, you're going to see that there's a green clip. We're going to remove this clip or unclip it, and then we're going to get this off of here, and the latch should be ready to come out. All right, that's unclipped. That made it so the rod can move around. Awesome. Okay, so now you can just press on this, and this should separate for you. There we go. Cruising right along. Okay, so if you look on the side of your door, you're going to see 2 little plugs. Pull out that lower one, and deep down inside there, there's a T25, which is a Torx bit. We're going to release that, or take that out of there. Okay, it drops down in there. At this point, you can grab this, slide it out. Then we're going to take the door handle, slide it this way, just like that. Remove that from the vehicle. Now you can see this right here. We'll remove this. We're going to use a T27. Okay. Some people will say you don't have to remove it completely. I just do, so I can push this in a little further, and then I can get this out. There we go. Let's get this wiring off of here. Just like that. Give ourselves a little bit of space to work. There we go. Just give this a twist, pull it off of there. All right. Okay, so let's get this rod out of here. Just go just like this. Pops right out. Goes in this hole. Brand new TRQ latch. We're just going to put this back in the same way we took it out. Straight in. There we go. Awesome. All right, so if you follow this wiring up, you can feel there's a little tab. I'm just going to squeeze that, slide this out, and that's going to give us a little bit more room to deal with this. Okay, so bear with me here. It's kind of a tangled mess, but we'll get it. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to put the shaft through the white area here. just like that. I'm gonna bring it around. So, we've got this sitting just like this now. Get this, it's gonna slide right in there, it's gonna lock in there. And then on this side, it's gonna do the same thing right there, okay? So we'll just line that up, get it ready. Line up the lower side, put that in. Go. Just gonna get this one, lock that in. Beautiful, it's supposed to slide a little bit. This is looking great. Get this up like this. All right, let's continue. We're gonna take this little cable, we're gonna put it into the latch, just like that, okay? Then you just lock it in, just like this. So let's plug in our electrical right here. Give it a tug. Awesome. Okay, so let's get this latch assembly back in here. Just make sure you have the lock kind of up. It's gonna slide right in here like this. If we can get it sort of lined up. We get this assembly right here. It needs to go up, obviously. Slide that up in there like that. Okay. Should want to slide up. These little hooks need to go on the outside of the door. There we go. Looks pretty great. We'll grab our bolt. Start that in there. Let's snug that right up. Make sure that the latch is pushed as far back as possible. Nice. So we'll take our handle, slide it in the front side first, put it in the back, slide it forward. You're going to take the lock cover, slide it right under here. Should go in just like this. Front side in. There we go. Okay. There it is. We'll clean that up after. Okay, let's get our bolt in there. There it is. Nice. Make sure it's nice and snug. Beautiful. Let's put in our rubber plug. This wire back up in here. Let's find where it plugs into. Right there. Try to get my hands up in here. Slide that in. Give it a little tug. That feels great. So let's get this back together. You got a little slot there. Just put it up and through. Just like that. Come over here. This little stud is going to go inside there. And this right here has to be pushed. Like that. Be very careful pushing the pin. Put it up against the plastic there. Now we're just going to roll this in. And it should latch. There it is. Pull on this. Slide it through the groove. Lock that in. We're going to take this. See if I can get it to go on there, just like that. Okay, come over here. We've got our little boot. I'm just going to try to get that so it's in there nicely. Of course, we might have to redo it in a minute once we finish wiggling everything around, but that looks pretty good for now. Let's get this cover back on here. Okay, put that right there. Get our holes lined up. Start our little bolts in. Beautiful. Okay, so it's time to get this attached back onto the inside door panel. You're going to notice that it has a hole here and a big hole there. And we've also got the little pitons that come out, and those need to go inside those holes. And then we can put our coarse threaded bolts through the small holes and latch it down. Like this. This cable on the right side of this. Great. We need to line this piton and this one up with those two holes. Once we do that, we can put in our 2 mounting screws into those holes and tighten these 2 pieces up together. You also want to pay attention to right here. You want to try to get it behind that portion of the door, otherwise it's going to be troublesome trying to get it past there once you get it together. So let's just get these pitons lined up with the hole. I'm going to grab one of my bolts inside my inside door. And here. Okay. Try to get my bolt in there. Hopefully I can get this started. Okay, I'm going to grab my ratchet. I'll snug those up a little bit. This one in. Awesome. See if I can get this down and under. Careful. There we go. Now I'll just continue tightening them until they're snug. That tight. Just double check that other bolt that I tightened. Oh yeah. Awesome. All right, so carefully bring this down. We're going to try to sneak this just under here, very carefully. There we go. Get my wires out of the way over on this side. Slide this up. Sits in nice. Awesome. Let's get our mounting bolts back in. All right, snug them up. All right, so it's time to get these back in. I'm just going to start them all in before we tighten any of them up. It's very important. Okay, let's snug them up. Make sure they're nice and tight. Okay, so now it's time to carefully lower our window down so it sits into these grooves right here. Hold the window, remove my tape, bring it down. Okay, you just want to look inside, make sure that it's sitting inside those grooves. Now that we have that down, let's tighten up our clamping bolts here. Okay, let's get our wiring back down here. We're going to reconnect this in. Okay, so let's connect this in. Make sure you plug this in. That feels good. I'm going to put the key in the on position. Let's give the window a try. Ooh. Very nice. Okay, we turn the key off. Let's disconnect this again. I'm going to leave this attached because now we're going to continue wiring the rest of this in. Click in this lock, make sure it's all the way up. Give it a tug. That feels great. We're going to tape this back up in a minute. Work our way around. This comes up over here. This looks pretty good. We'll get this right here. I should just want to slide in there. This piece right here just goes over that. Then along here. Very nice. I'm going to get some tape. I'm going to tape this up nice. So let's get these little plugs back in here. Okay, so it's time to get this door panel on. We're going to hook up the wiring. Goes there. There it is. Beautiful. Grab this stuff, get it ready to come up through here. So we're going to come up high because on the inside of this door panel it has a little lip. It needs to sit right along this right here. And then of course you have to pay attention to your lock. That has to come up through the hole. Get that ready. See if I can get my hands in there. Up a little bit. There. You should be able to see these little push pins, the little pitons. Those are going to go into those holes, okay? So line them up. I'm a loving bonk. Just get that on there. Work our way around. Beautiful. So let's just test to make sure the lock does what it needs to do. Up, down, up, down. Finishes up. That's good. That means it's unlocked. All right. So let's get this bolt back inside that mounting hole. Make sure it's nice and tight. Moving along to this one, same thing. Nice and tight. So let's get our panel trim bolts in here. Phillips head screwdriver. And then this one, right over on the side here. This one's going to be the hardest to get to. My screwdriver is entirely too long. Tight. Okay, let's get this trim piece on here. This slides right in there, and then the clip goes in here. All right, let's get our switch assembly back in. I'm going to start at an angle, putting the forward side in first. Should want to work its way down. Clip it in. Beautiful. Okay, let's try it out. Lock it. Unlock. I'm going to put the key in the ignition, turn to the on position, and try the window. Oh yeah. Okay, Prince.